it is time for another Friday brand history deep dive, and you voted an e.l.f. one. So today we are talking all about the history and changes of e.l.f. cosmetics over the years. So let's get started. I will be using all e.l.f. products today. I have e.l.f. brushes, and you do not need to remember the name of the product if you want to learn more. Just whatever number I put up on the screen as I'm talking about or as I'm applying it, just remember the number and then you can look down in the description box. I'm actually going to, I had the e.l.f. putty primer, but it's dried out, so yeah, they don't last all that long. Of course, this one is kind of old, but I'm going to use a No Budge cream eyeshadow in white because we just want the colors to pop. There was a man and his wife came home. She had spent quite a bit of money on makeup, and he saw that she only had like 5 items. And it just got him thinking, okay, that's, ridiculous that there's not an option for affordable, good quality makeup. And that was kind of his light bulb moment of, okay, this, we need to do something. This is an opportunity. There's a gap in the market. I want to do something about this. He was 23 at the time. He was joined by Bobra, I think I'm saying that right, who at 31 years old, he started Hard Candy Cosmetics. So he had experience in it. And then Joe's father helped with the funding to get started. The brand officially launched in 2004. And in case you were wondering what e.l.f. stands for, it stands for eyes, lips, face. Well, I do have one thing that is not e.l.f. that I'm going to use. I like to put on eye gel patches underneath my eyes a lot of times as I'm doing my eye makeup, so that kind of helps get hydration there. I have dry skin, and I just find that this is, I don't know if it would really be considered a hack, but I think that it just really helps when you go to put concealer under there, that it really helps that area be hydrated. So if you do your eye makeup first, that felt kind of thick, but I think it was only 1. They started with 20 products, and at first their website was more just a place to showcase the products versus a place to actually purchase them. But in the first year, Glamour magazine wanted to feature them, and one of their requirements was that they needed to have an online presence, like an actual e-commerce site, not just, where you can showcase. So within the first year, e.l.f. already transitioned from just a website showcasing their products to actually being an e-commerce. Their shadow sticks are really good. I like them. I've tried pretty much, I think, all of them. They blend out easy. You can blend them out with your fingers or with a brush. I like the cream, the No Budge cream shadow sticks, or No Budge cream eyeshadow as well. If I was recommending one for more mature eyes, dry skin, I would personally go with the shadow sticks over the cream eyeshadow, but again, I like them both. Their brand is all cruelty-free and vegan. Their mission was and is to disrupt the industry norms. They wanted to, build on the community and accessibility. That was their goal. So what changes has happened to e.l.f. since starting in 2004? In 2007, they created a blog on their website as well for a place for customers and fans to interact, to get makeup tips and tricks. And there was even a chat now button where you could be linked directly with a in-house makeup artist. And that same year, I was shocked to find this out. They actually had a virtual makeup lab where you could upload your picture and then, try on the makeup that way. And the reason I'm saying I'm surprised is, remember, this was in 2007. And it seems like a lot of the brands just kind of started using that technology around 2020. So they were definitely, I think, ahead of their time. And by 2011, the online e.l.f. community had grown to include over 2 million members. And just a little thing, if you have the cream eyeshadow, what I'm doing is I'm using actually a lip brush, right? Yeah, lip defining brush, but I like to use that for eyeliner. Also in this year, in 2011, at that time they had 3 distinct lines that they were focusing on: e.l.f. Studio, e.l.f. Minerals, and e.l.f. Essentials. e.l.f. Studio was made with the idea to be more targeted towards professional makeup artists. It was a little bit more pricey. e.l.f. Minerals, which I don't remember this line at all, but that was made from all natural mineral-based ingredients. And then we had the everyday, the e.l.f. Essentials, which was the everyday, the lower priced. Most items at the time cost $3. These liquid eyeshadows, they are really good. So I opened this in 2020, December of 2020, and I know that I shouldn't, it's probably way past its prime, but like, look at how much color I'm still getting. Like, it is not dried out whatsoever. So I am impressed with that. I like to apply it directly to the lid and just kind of then buff it out with my fingers. But then they decided that they actually didn't want to go that direction, and they just wanted to focus, have one main line, and they would separate it depending on the product category and if there was a certain collection. And in 2014, TPG Growth, which is an investment firm, actually acquired a majority stake in e.l.f., which I did not know that. Other companies that are involved with this investment firm include Anastasia Beverly Hills, Beauty Counter, Roden and Fields, but their portfolio is actually, it's not just, all this brand that has all these makeup brands. They also have involvement with Burger King and PetSmart. I mean, just a wide variety is in this investment firm's portfolio. And in 2015 is when they launched their skincare line. Have you tried any of that? It's pretty good. In 2016, they went public on the New York Stock Exchange and were definitely, right off the bat, were a success. I have 3 mascaras here on e.l.f. that I thought I would talk about. The Lash It Loud, this is the brush on that, straight brush. And I do have videos specifically, any video that I have specifically on any of these items, also I'll link in the cards or down below if you want to see specifically more information. The Big Mood it's a little bit of an hourglass. I mean, barely goes in, definitely more fluffy of a brush. They're both on the more wet formula. I'd say the Big Mood is definitely a more wet formula, more similar to like Lash Princess, Lash Paradise, that kind of thing. It does get clumpy around here, so you do have to make sure. I mean, a lot of mascaras do, but this one I did notice. The Lash It Loud, just a little bit, but not much. And then their newest is the Lash and Roll mascara. This one is the rubberized and curved brush. And for me personally, if I'm comparing all 3 of these, unless you want like the real wet formula, if you want the real wet formula, I'd go with the Big Mood. But otherwise, this Lash and Roll is what I like the best. And in 2016, this was also the time frame when brands were starting to send influencers on the big trips. And I had never watched YouTube back then. And I didn't even know for the longest time that there was like this whole beauty community. Didn't know any of that. But all of these brands, I guess, were sending influencers on these huge trips. And I thought this was really cool. What I found was that e.l.f. at that time, they did send some influencers, but they also, on social media, had their fans and customers submit their information for a chance to go on the trip, too. So they not only had influencers, but actual real-life customers. And they said that they saw this as, the ultimate focus group. You have your customers right there. So I think that is just brilliant. And I know that, there's people go back and forth, on these brand trips, what people think about them. But I think if a company maybe wants to still do a brand trip, but also wants some good PR out of it, I mean, how great would that be to be like, well, we're sending our customers, real life customers too. And up until this point, they did have brick and mortar stores and their website. But in 2019, they decided to close all their brick and mortar stores and focus solely on e-commerce. And when I started researching for this video, I thought, I don't really remember like e.l.f. being involved in really scandals. But I did find one that, I mean, it does involve them, but it's not like, well, I'll just tell you. So that investment firm, one of the board of directors, this is in 2019, remember that whole college admissions scandal? Well, one of the board of directors, Bill McGlasson, doing that for his son. So he did resign, and when he did resign, the stock market price of e.l.f. stocks plummeted that day. I mean, I looked and they're doing good now, so it's not like, but, so there was a little bit of scandal. And one year they had where their suppliers had made some of their lashes and used suppliers from North Korea or materials from North Korea. And, that's like a no-no. So, but e.l.f., they were the ones who caught it and corrected it. They did a self-audit. So, they were given some leniency because they were the ones who brought it to everyone's attention. There was one more now that I'm thinking about it, that they did start, I think they were called out for still sending some problematic influencers PR and stuff. So I guess that too could be a scandal. I don't think that was as huge as the other ones, but I know that there was some online about like call to, hey, quit sending some of these PR packages to these influencers who, always are in scandals and problematic. I think I need to add a little bit more pink. And I did not know this either. I learned so much when doing this. In 2020, they actually acquired some brands. Did you know that Well People? Yeah, that's under e.l.f. They acquired that in 2020 for $27 million. And that same year, they teamed up with Alicia Keys to develop the Keys Soul Care, which I have tried, but I had no idea that they were involved in that. If you aren't following them on social media, combined between TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, they have over 355,000 followers. This is the original putty primer that I'm applying. One of my goals this year is to bring awareness to brands that are doing their part to help with sustainability, with the environment. I'm not fully a cruelty-free or sustainable beauty channel, but I do want to highlight that because I feel like there's not a lot of talk about which brands are doing which, and I think that a brand should get credit or get acknowledged if they are doing good things. And e.l.f. is. They have 3 pillars that they are focusing in on with sustainability. And what is interesting, since they're a public company, I'll leave the link down below, but you can actually go on their site. You can find all of the presentations from their quarterly earnings call where they go into what their goals are, what their profits. So very, very interesting stuff, at least I thought it was. 3 pillars that they're focusing on is packaging footprint reduction, sustainability sourced packaging, and reusable and recyclable packaging. So we will go into all these. They are eliminating secondary cartons. They are using less materials whenever possible. And in November of 2021, they reached and hit a major milestone in regards to this. They eliminated more than 1 million pounds of excess packaging since the inception of what they're calling Project Unicorn. And that is equal, they say, to 3,800 baby elephants. So that amount of waste, this is the Halo, the Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I like to put this on a little bit underneath my foundation. It just adds a little bit of shine. You can use it multiple ways. And a little tip, okay, with bronzers. If you aren't the best at bronzing or you have a heavy hand like me, I like to sometimes do my bronzer under my foundation. I have their contour. This is the contour palette. It is very messy because I've used it a long time. Really, really like this one. Their bronzers, their putty bronzers, even though they're bronzers, this one that's in color Feeling Shady, this is a cool tone one. So I have been able to use this as a contour and then the other one as a bronzer. So as far as their reliance on packing materials to be more from sustainable sources, what that means, it includes a partnership with the Forest Stewardship Council, and that is to use certified paper cartons as alternatives to virgin first-time plastics. And this is their contouring brush. This does give you some, like, you can see it puts the product on. Their goal is by the end of fiscal year 2025 to have all of their paper cartons to be 100% FSC certified across all of the products. Right now, the Well People, the Keys Soul Care, and the e.l.f. Skincare their paper is 100% from this, and so they're needing to still transition their cosmetics to that. So what exactly does that mean? You know, like some of these things I feel like, yeah, we hear it, but what does that mean? That means that when you purchase it, you can know that their packaging is not made at the expense of forests being cut down, plants. They are exploring recyclable and refillable cartons, components. This is their Flawless Satin Foundation, the cool pink undertones today. See how that looks. I had just opened this today. In 2022, they did their first measurements of their greenhouse gases in their offices and distribution centers. Oh, I think that color's pretty good. So now they have a baseline that then they can use to go forward to try to figure out what their targets are. Also last year, they did their first measurement of their water use. Let's talk about their sourcing and fair trade. If you're not aware, there has been some talk about the ugly side of sourcing cosmetics. And really, you can go along with pretty much any industry. I feel like can be a dark side to it. So they were the first beauty brand to have a third-party manufacturing facility that's fair trade certified. So there's a non-for-profit organization called Fair Trade USA. Offers globally recognized sustainable sourcing certification programs. To get the stamp of approval from the organization, the company has to go through regulations, and they have fair trade standards. They have to promote sustainability livelihoods and safe working conditions for the workers, either mining or making the materials in any level or selling it like any level of their supply chain. So this is the putty blush, and what I like to do, as you're seeing, this is actually a flawless face brush, but just tapping it in to the putty and then tapping it on instead of brushing it on. I feel like if I tap it on, you get more color and it's just more kind of diffused, and that's the way I like it the best personally. And when you get certified by them, it's not like, oh, one and done, you get certified and then you're, who knows what happens after that. No. They have to get recertified annually. And let's talk about another element that if you are, kind of looking at where you're buying, what brands you're buying, and trying to make a decision based on, not only the quality, how it performs, but, a little bit behind the brand as well. So let's talk about diversity within e.l.f. Cosmetics. On their website, you can also, since they are a public company, from their board of directors to store employees, you can see, how many are women, how many are Black, how many are Asian, like all that kind of stuff. So I will have that also linked down below if you want to go and look at that information. This is a highlighting brush, but it's just nothing on it yet, and I just like to kind of blend all that together. I normally don't do too much with color, but I kind of wonder when I'm looking at this, like, what would that look like with yellow right there? We're going to try it. They also are involved in charities. What do we think? Let me bring this up a little bit. Look how colorful that is. I kind of like it. What do you think? It's so different. They did donate to a variety of charities, but some of the main ones that they do partner with is It Gets Better Project. This is the brightening concealer. Also Project Glimmer, Pull Up for Change. Some of the foundation up a little bit. I just feel like that just needs a little something there. And I know a big thing too is if a brand is it clean? They have restricted over 1,600 ingredients that they will no longer be using in any of their products. If you go to any product on their website, you can click and see what all the ingredients are for that product. And if you're going to shop on e.l.f.com, if you haven't already, I recommend for 100%, you have to join the loyalty program. It's free to do, and it is a great loyalty program. It has 3.2 million members. And what happens is as long as you're signed in and you've signed up for it, with every order you earn points. Sometimes they'll have free shipping, on a lower amount. You get access sometimes to the new launches before it's released to everyone. And pretty much I don't order a ton, but I mean, I've done a few orders, over the years, and I've gotten free bite-sized eyeshadow, moisturizer, lipstick. Usually you can either get a free product, there's choices that you can choose from, or you can get $2 off your order, $5 off your order. There's just a variety of things that you can do. And then you put your birthday in and you get a birthday gift for free. So definitely do that. It's free. If you're going to order from there, do it. The lipstick that I'm going to use is Hydrating Core Lip Shine. This is so hydrating. A slight scent to it. It's a little bit of berry, but a little bit of the artificial berry type scent, if that makes sense. It's not overpowering or strong, but just to know there is a scent there. And of course, they have won tons of awards, their products, their company. Just to name a few, I mean, their products get Allure, Best of Allure, I think a lot. But they've gotten the People's 2020 Beauty Awards Best Drugstore Concealer of All Times, Glossy 2020 Top 50 Changemakers in the Beauty and Retail. Adweek, they got Beauty and Fashion Creator of the Year for 2021. So they are definitely doing things right, I think. And I liked them before. I liked their products. I like that they're cruelty-free. Yes, not every single product is a major hit, but I would say the things that I've tried so far, which I feel like I've tried a lot, not every product, but they're more hits than misses, in my opinion. And I made the goal of I want to, focus on brands that are more sustainable and more clean, that kind of thing. I thought, I don't know if e.l.f., they're a cheaper price point. Are they really I don't know if they're going to fall into that category. So I was pleasantly surprised when, yes, they do fall into that category. If you have a question on a specific product, let me know down below and I will try to answer that if I have used that. If you want to learn more about the actual e.l.f. products, if you want to see different ways that you can wear this Halo Glow Liquid Filter on skin that's over 40, you can click on this video here. If that's not interesting to you and you want to see about their mascara comparisons, you can click on this one. And if neither one of those of interest and you want to do more eyeshadow, the liquid eyeshadows are this, and the No Budge Shadow Sticks, this one. So hope to see you over there in the comments in one of those videos, and I will see you next time. Have a good weekend. Thanks. Bye.